afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the Uncensored live Q&A webinar. My name is Danny and I will give you the webinar today. Before we will begin, as always, I would like us to go through a quick sound check to make sure that the sound and the visibility of my screen is appropriate. Please use the question section to tell me that the sound is okay on your end and that you can see the chart, and then we will begin. Thank you, Jennifer, Leonard, Stephen, very good. Okay, so the way that we're gonna do it is, first of all, let's explain how the webinar is going to happen. We have the general agenda here. So we have the previous questions that our team has prepared, which are those questions down here. And we have the dynamic questions, which are the true purpose of this webinar, which are actually questions that I'm going to put down here, okay, that you will be asking along the webinar, regardless the topic that I'm teaching, by the way. Okay, you can just ask whatever you want. You don't have to raise your hand or anything like that. Just put down the questions and I will answer it accordingly. First, I'll paste it down here and then I'll answer it accordingly. I have to say, though, that I would prefer to take questions that are not referring the same topics, so we can have variety of topics to discuss and more knowledge that I can contribute to you guys. And after that, so we're going to begin with that, and then this, and then we're going to share with you some links to save you the trouble to look for certain things on our website. And lastly, analysis. This should be as an addition, although I highly doubt we're not going to have questions about analysis anyway, but that's here to perhaps help us demonstrate or whatever else we'll need. Okay, and any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only and should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or a suggestion. Furthermore, I'm going to tell you guys the webinar is recorded. Okay, the whole thing is recorded. And even if you didn't understand something on the first time or the second, you can just review it later on our channel on YouTube. Okay, so just give me a few moments to make sure everything is it's in its place, and then we can hit the road. Thank you very much. Okay, so it seems like we're pretty much good to go. So we're gonna take off with the questions. Let's just review the questions, and also we're going to bring up a nice notepad for the notes. Okay, there we go. And let's simply begin. Okay, like I said, I'm Danny. Feel free to ask. It's a live webinar. It's a live Q&A webinar. You can feel free to ask whatever you need. Okay, so how to know if to sell or buy? I think that this is, since we started this concept, I think that this is the first time I actually have such a straightforward question. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you how to know if it's a sell or buy. I mean, I can try, but nobody really knows. So, well, we'll see. We'll see how we can play with it. But that actually might turn out like a very interesting question. Will gold break the next resistance? Is this, well, I guess a lot of people asked about that, and I don't blame anyone because gold did break it did achieve another all-time high, right? Just yesterday, if I'm mistaken, after the interest rate decision, which by the way stayed the same as far as I'm concerned, right? So we have it this way. And it seems like just yesterday it passed it just passed the last resistance. If you can see 2196. Okay, I'll get rid of that for the time being. And we keep reviewing. So will it break? The answer is actually yes. But still, we can have a nice discussion and understand how it broke and so on. Okay, what is AvaProtect? This is super simple, and okay. We'll get to that. How much does it cost to get a senior account manager? Since it's a human being, it's an individual. Just a second to get yeah. Okay, what is a trading plan? This is something we have almost every live Q&A. That's just amazing, trading plan. But I'm happy that this is one of the questions. Yeah. So as I said, you guys are feel free to put down your questions anyway, but I'm just gonna simply begin with that. Okay. Right. So I'm gonna tell you up front. I'm sorry that I'm gonna disappoint everybody who wanted to ask a similar question, but there is no definitive way to know if it's a sell or buy. Nobody in the world, in the universe, can ever know if it's a sell or a buy. It would make sense to. Okay, we have a question from Max Leong. Max Leong, let's read your question, sir. Thank you for the time. Okay. Ask hypothetical question. If an issue arises between trader and AvaTrade, okay, can a trader escalate the issue? As you know, Malaysia doesn't have a regulator in the FX industry yet. Well, sir, first of all, I hope you don't mind, but I'm just gonna chop the beginning and the end of your question. There is an issue, and I'm gonna reshape just as I wanted to. If let me just keep this part, isn't it? And then it would make more sense. Okay, if an issue arises, where can a trader escalate the issue? Okay. Let's just put it this way, right? Who can a trader address with an issue or with inquiry? But okay, there's a question here from Steven. My question is about a Tama account. I was able to trade US 500 because of the insufficient margin. So I wonder if a micro S&P symbol or a valuable and demo trading balance increased. In other words, I'm so sorry guys that I'm reshaping your question, but it's just to make the audience understand it a bit better. I wasn't able. Okay, so I wonder if or whether demo trading can be increased. So what I'm going to do is simply, is it possible? And again, I'm sorry that I'm doing that, but I think that this is the core of what you're planning to ask. Is it possible to increase the demo account balance? I'm going to tell you in advance the answer is yes, but we'll get to that. Okay, so as I said, I'm sorry that I'm in advance that I'm going to disappoint you all. There is no way to know if it's a sell or a buy. You can estimate, you can analyze. That's what traders are doing. Okay, according to two very easy principles to understand. One is called technical analysis. The other one is fundamental analysis. And the way that this goes is very, very simple. Okay, so first of all, we're going to lie down. We're going to, well, because there is a question about gold, I don't feel like it's necessary to go with gold now, so we can diverse. I'm going to go instead with wheat and see how it's, yeah. Okay, so this is the week. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. You see, it just plunged down the support line. Yeah, we might want to remember that area. Might want to remember that area. Make it a little smaller. Okay. Maybe I could have just placed a rectangle, but it doesn't make a lot of difference. Okay, let's call it our support for the time being. Somewhere here. let's assume that this is another. Guys, I'm gonna tell you in advance, whatever I'm doing now will all be explained, will all be elaborated very nicely, but yeah, okay, don't worry. Actually, we're gonna turn this one to green. Yeah, and I can approximate that since the price is this way and it exceeded the support line, I can claim that potentially I have a reason to believe that it will turn around. Okay, and I believe that it's going to get from 548 to 568, which is approximately here, and I'm giving it approximately a month. Now I'm going to put it down under TTMU, which stands for Target Time Movements and Units. If you want to have better recognition about this approach, you're more than welcome to participate in our Wednesday's webinar, which are the beginner webinar that I'm giving. The target in my particular case, since I have 10,000, will be $2,000. Time length, as I said, is 1 month. The movement, this is actually $20, no problem. The movement can actually be 20. I can confirm it with the ATR. Gonna apply here FX indicators. Gonna put AVE for average true range. Click and drag it to the right. And the length will be reduced to 5 weeks, which is a bit more than a month. Let's make it a month and a half exactly. I'm gonna paint this one in yellow, and I'm gonna keep it wielders. I could go exponential. Never mind. Let's keep it as it is. Okay. Yeah. And what we're looking at here is very, very simple. As you can see, this is the average for a week. Oh, I might go more ambitious. Let's go for $50. That makes it 98. 98 is where? Here. Okay. Yeah, somewhere like that. Okay. That should be, no, we can actually get rid of it for the time being. No, we need it for our middle line. Let's keep it in here, 567. Let's make it orange. And yeah. And that could be our, now I'm going to explain what I did, guys. Okay. Okay, just going to wrap it up with quickly 100 units. Okay. Now, let's explain. Okay. First of all, I have to click sell or buy, otherwise the sidebar wouldn't open, and now I won't be able to comfortably do what I want to do. Okay, so in here, what is presented is the price interpreted to the value. Okay, that just means if 1 unit costs 548, you can see the price in here and here and here by the green ray. Okay, so that's the price. The value just means how much my price multiplied by the amount of units, right? So 549, if I'll have 10, it will become 5,000. If I have 100, it will be 50,000, and the margin impact will change accordingly. Yeah, and in this case, let's actually bring it down to the minimum for the time being. And the reason that I've done it, because the question here, how to sell or buy, is made out of many layers of analysis, and not just analysis, it's also strategy and a trading plan and so on. All right, maybe I'll keep it this way and then I can use it for later. And like I said, to estimate if it's a sell or a buy, we're gonna go by either fundamental or technical analysis or both. Now, the way that I'm looking at it, okay, as you can see, this is pretty bearish. Bearish, for the people who doesn't know, means going down, right? The same way a bull means going up, the same way a bull lifts his opponent to the air, and bearish is a bear might slam his opponent to the ground. So therefore, we can call it a bearish trend, right? Going down, negative trend. We can see also the length of how much it reached from 642 to 5, roughly 538. It's a little more than 100, 104. Okay, 104. And because it already been rejected twice and it started climbing back, I can assume that this is actually a buy. Okay, and I can target 598, thinking it might get there in a month. Okay, now this is raw analysis. It's not even analysis, to be honest. This is just defining support and resistance. I didn't apply any of the reasons. Okay, reasons. Let's call it fundamental analysis, the reasons why something is moving. With this same agenda that let's open it this way. I don't want to get rid of this, but you see gold has responded to, hold on, gold has responded to two fundamental occurrences, right? Here we had the NFP, right? I hope that I'm not making a mistake here. The NFP wasn't the first, it was on the 8th. It was here, right? And after the NFP, it plunged. Okay, and yesterday we had the interest rate decision. So those are reasons why an asset can go up or down, right? They're not guarantees, they're not insurances, they're not anything like that. They're just indication. Now it needs to be in layers. Usually when you do technical analysis, you define support and resistance, you understand the level of what the chart is capable of reasonably, but it doesn't mean it's guaranteed. So the way that I've done it is I've measured approximately what can be the movement. I've applied here an indicator called average true range. Average true range, it's one of the accelerators. Here I measure what will be the length. It will be how many candles it's just going to grasp, okay, going back and throwing me with this lovely average. As you can see here, the leverage is referenced with weeks, okay? I'm going to repeat that one more time. The indicator acknowledges the time that you have choose for the candles. Each candle here is 1 week, okay? And the average in here is thrown from the weekly candles. Therefore, if I'll be changing it to a month, to the same validity of my plan, see here, the validity of my TTMU is actually 1 month. So 1 month is showing me the average 75. Okay, it's showing me that it could be moving 75. Similarly, this is not a guarantee, this is just a range. And this is why it's called average true range, isn't it? Okay. Staying on weeks, just easier for me to analyze this way. Okay, everybody can basically do what they want, but I'm staying on weeks to have this nice picture. And yeah, now the missing part here. So again, if this is truly a buy or sell, nobody can know, right? But if I had some fundamental reason and I can understand, maybe there is a harvest soon, maybe there is a problem with transportation, maybe wheat right now, there are major parts enjoying good weather and that has an impact on the price. And this is why it got a little lower, so we harvest more and the quantity increased. And if the demand stayed the same and the quantity increased, naturally the price can respond negatively, okay? And yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply 2 things, take profit and stop loss. This is, again, this bit here can be explained on the beginner's webinar. It's really good foundations to know. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm simply gonna take my green line, 598, which is $50 away, and I'm going to increase it according to my plan here. Movements, let's change it to 50, and therefore let me do it with you. It will be 40, but still I'd rather to do it with you guys so you will know the process. Let's divide 2000 by 50, and I'm going to put here in brackets the formula, which is roughly let's put it this way. No, I don't want to put it. I want to put it in brackets so it wouldn't mislead anyone. Target divided by, actually, we don't really need that. And then we can keep it regular. Yeah, target divided by movements equals units. In other words, 2000 divided by 50 is 40. Okay. This one is the lot size. This one is the price difference per unit. Okay. Now, if I put here 40, it should respond to 1000. Yeah, exactly as it is. And I'm going to take care of my stop loss. Now, because I understand that the natural way of things is not as I expect, and things can go sideways, I'm simply going to put my stop loss $10 away from the price. The price is 548, therefore 548 minus 10, that's just 538. And I can potentially lose 5% of my 4% of my account. Okay, and the ratio here is roughly 1 to 5. Okay, making 2000, potentially losing 400. Okay, 538. That's where it's in here. Yeah, let's just use the red line. Yeah. I'm not really sure that I like it because it's been there. Maybe I'll put it underneath the resistance, the support, sorry. Yeah, maybe 528. Yeah, I would say 528 is, or maybe 525. Yeah, could be good. 525. Yeah, but then I can lose a big chunk. Maybe I'll reduce it by half. Instead of planning to make 2000, I'm just gonna aim for less, and then I can keep my risk the same way, right? So 100 units will become 20, and then this should be changed. Then I can just have another position. This should have been, oh, okay. I guess the platform is doing the rest of our, yeah, now that's 1000, that's a little more than 4%, okay, no problem. Now, the way that, oh, let me just correct this one quickly, this one, yeah. And now, when I'm looking at this position, it makes sense. It's, to my eyes, it seems well composed. And now I'm just waiting for the market to respond and to see if I was right or not. Now, this was preparations with technical analysis. Again, we have absolutely no idea about the fundamentals, nor we're going to read about them now. That's not the purpose of the webinar. But how to know if it's a sell or buy? Sorry, guys, just a minute. Now, how to know if this is a sell or buy? This is a buy scenario. It could work the same way with sell, right? It could work the same way with sell. I would simply make comparison to the buy and the sell, and then I'll know if it's realistic or not, right? And yeah, so this is the idea. If I, okay, never mind. I don't want to get into support and resistance too much. I'm just going to tell you that support will be the edge points according, this might be a very nice pivot point. So support are edge points underneath the price. This is again the price. So this is 1 point, 542, and this is again a point that it couldn't break. As you can see, it couldn't plunge any further. This was, when was this? November, and this was approximately half a year ago, right, give or take. And yeah, so I guess pretty much how to know if the, okay, so the answer to this question is very simple. Nobody can ever know. Actually, I'm not going to write it down. What I'm going to write is we can indicate the direction according to support, according to technical and fundamental analysis, and prefer a buy or a sell scenario accordingly. Yeah, pretty much concludes what we wanted to say. And also, you guys have a nice way of how to address. Well, the answer is already yes. We already had that. Yes. Gold seem to break the resistance, achieving another all-time high. Can be by yesterday's, right? Was it yesterday? Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday's interest rate decision. Okay. Okay. Now we have AvaProtect. Let's put it down. I'm not getting into really, what was the decision. I'm just going to tell you that it stayed the same. And because of that, there is uncertainty with the dollar. Because there is uncertainty with the dollar, gold can respond to that positively. Let's keep it as it is. Let's just get rid of that and that and that as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What is AvaProtect? So AvaProtect, let's just, actually we have to exit the wheat, because AvaProtect, one of the things about it is that unfortunately you can only use it with gold, silver, and currencies. Perhaps I should write it down. Okay, what is AvaProtect? It's a product that allows you to protect the position for a certain time frame, and whatever you lost during the coverage, you will get back. There is a fee when using the service. Okay, we're gonna have a example scenario. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is just to click on AvaProtect, and it's immediately showing me that I can pick from 1 hour up to 2 days. As you can see here, the price is changing. 1 hour costs 28, 63 for 3 hours, 62 for 6 hours, 70. I know it doesn't seem like it makes sense, but to be honest, as a user, I wouldn't be bothered by that. 2 days, 81. You could just take advantage of it, to be honest. And let's take that to the bare minimum. And then I can simply see if I'm going to go for a buy or for a sell. Okay, let's suppose that we are with a buy for the time being. And yeah, it seems like silver is also trying to follow gold's footsteps. Okay, so maybe we should go with $0.50 up. Okay, because it does have potential to carry on up. So we're going to go for 25.925. And with the stop loss, we're going to go with vice versa. So 25 point, actually no, 24.975 was where it's at right now. So we can basically go this way. Okay. And now it's showing us the fee here is $27. Okay, to cover it for 2 days. The potential gain is 55, potential loss is 42, and that's just how it works. Okay, very, very simple. If I increase it to 0.1, then it increases the price for the fee, it increases the potential profit and the potential loss. Okay, and in that scenario, I can make comparison between how much am I going to pay to protect the position to basically how much I can gain or lose. Okay, and this is a comparison that without it, I wouldn't use the product at all, because I don't want to end up paying a fee that is higher than my profit or higher than my loss. Otherwise, what's the point using AvaProtect? Yeah, pretty straightforward. There is no much else to say beside demonstrating other variations, which we're not really required to do that now. Okay. But any questions though? And I forgot to ask about the question in the beginning. Guys, do we have any questions about what I've explained, or it makes sense? Either this or the previous question. Let me paste down the answer here. Hopefully we can fold it somewhere to make more space. And I'm not really sure. Oh, it worked. Let's see if we can make it a little smaller. Yeah. That's the impression. Oh, there we go. How much does it cost to get? I've said it 1,000 times that it doesn't cost anything, but actually I've been requested to explain a little about how it works. Okay, the service with an account manager. So our account managers here are usually giving attention to the profile according to the investment and how active the profile is. Now, I don't know how much exactly the eligibility sum to get a senior account manager, okay, because it keeps on changing. But in general, if the account is funded and you ask for assignment for a senior account manager, there shouldn't be a problem to contact you, okay, unless it's a very minimal amount. And the level of attention and the level of assistance that you receive is usually accordingly. Okay, so you don't have to subscribe or pay anything, but how can I say it? The more you'll be active, the more you'll use the platform and the account, the more legitimacy you'll have to receive such assistance. Okay, that's usually how it works. Again, I'm not getting into numbers, just try and see. And yeah, that's basically it. I would say that an account manager is one of the most powerful tools, because at the end of the day, it's a trader who is by your side and could basically do what we're doing here today and just help you construct things with much more sense, analysis, and the rest of it. Okay, so how much it costs? It doesn't cost anything additional. You can confirm your eligibility on the customer service chat, and maybe ask for assignment. Okay. Okay. What is a trading plan? Now, guys, okay, never mind. I've showed it. I've showed it the last webinar, but never mind. I guess it's really not a big hassle, so we can just do it again. Trading plan can very much look like that. Okay, so let's say this is as an example. Actually, you know what? We've seen gold before. Let's just make it asset A, asset B, asset C and D, and whatever you like. So we have it this way. Now again, I've explained it before. You don't have to really put it the same way that I do. You know, you can put it in an Excel sheet. You can put it in on a paper. There's no rule for that. There is no actual rule for that. You know, you can just do it as you can put it one next to each other, or there is no actual rule for that. Okay, you can. The thing that I would have consistency with is just the trading style you're using to perform, okay, the plan. If time length for a position will be 1 hour, as an example, and in here I have, I don't know, $50 in a week, right? 1 week. And then this will be, now the problem with such a plan, let's say 2 hours. The problem with such a plan is it doesn't have consistency. Now again, this might work. I'm not stating here what is better or not. I'm just showing you what a trading plan can look like. Okay, and then we're gonna make this one 250 in a day, or maybe 2 days, right? And then the problem with such a plan, okay, it's not really a problem, but the difference with such a plan, obviously the movements in the units are according to the ATR, and the units determined are the lot size, and they need to match how much movements we're looking for, right? But in this particular case, we have different trading style. This might not even be achievable. It might and it might not, but to make $1,000 in an hour with $10,000 might put me in a risk. I'm always in a risk, but it might be a greater risk. Even this one, I'm not sure that it will be worth my time, $50 for a week. Anyway, the point here is that the plan needs to match your ambitions, and I would say that it has a huge advantage using the same time frames and the same amounts, because that's how you get consistency. If I'm using different numbers and different time frames, how will I ever have consistency? I'm always different. If I'm looking at something like that, 1 day, right? Could be with different asset. I'm not obligated in any way to use the same assets always. I can change. I can use the same. I can change. I can do whatever I want. That's the huge benefit being a trader, right? Right. So if I'm looking at something like that, oh sorry, this is days. Yeah. If I'm looking at something like that, and I know, okay, 250 is pretty much my daily target, right? And I have 1 day, 2nd day, 3rd, and so on. Then I know, okay, my composition doesn't have to change too much, neither the lot size, the movements, or anything that I do. I can just look at the same things and try a different variation. If I'm looking at different goals and different time frames, that means that I'm using different trading styles, and my improvement might be delayed. Okay. Yeah. Do we have any questions about that? It could look different, by the way. We could take it to the next level and make it 10 times more sophisticated and add stop loss and take profit and risk money management and all kind of things. But this is just on a nutshell. But I want to know, is this understood? Is this simple enough to understand? How many like this you should have? I'm not sure I understood your question, Richard. What do you mean by how many, how many of those? Well, that depends on you. That depends how far you want to take it. Like I said, you can, if this is daily, so it will be daily. If this is weekly, it could be the same asset, different assets. You can just make it as you want, right? Okay, so a trading plan is how do you plan on taking on trading? How many positions? How what lot size as an example? How do you plan on trading? How many position? What lot size? How frequent they will be? And right, I hope it makes sense. Everybody make their own plan, but that's a nice example. Now let's address the interesting question from our dear audience. Okay. Why did I make it this way? Let's make it. Okay, there is an issue. Okay, so one person you can contact is obviously, as I have explained a minute ago, you can address the customer service via the chat on our website or by sending an email to customer service at avatrade.com. B, you can contact your account manager by sending an email or phoning him on his extension. Yeah. Is it possible to increase? Yes. Yes, you can request our trading team to increase your demo balance through an email to your senior account manager. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys can, you have another 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes until we are over for today. Guys, you have another 10 minutes to ask me whatever questions you want. I really hope that my answer for those questions has helped. Okay, and of course, if there is anything related to these questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Otherwise, I'm going to share with you the links here. The links here, where is the chat? There used to be, oh, there we go. Yeah, so this is the education center. You can get much more education over there. You have the login and deposit. This is if you're still playing around with the demo and you want to carry on with a real account. FEC and Help Center for things related more into this. What did I do? A real account. Again, if you're still playing with the demos, this is a nice way of creating a real account. And the academy that can be addressed through this link or There is a question here from Steven. As I have explained, Steven, the way that you can increase is just send an email to your account manager. Hi, I would like to increase my balance on my demo account. You have to create it first. You have to create a demo account, and then you send a request, and your account manager can escalate it to our trading team. That's usually how it works, and it shouldn't take too long. Where was I with the? Oh, yeah, I wanted to show you guys that you can also get the academy through here, right? The education. You click on academy. Takes. No, maybe educate tutorials. The tutorials doesn't pop. We are working on it to pop the same way that it used to. Of course, with pleasure. And right now, the way that you can access it is through the link that I've sent. Okay. See, there is a link here. Yeah, I've sent it to you. I hope that you're seeing what I'm what I'm sending on the chat, because I could never know that, right? And before we say goodbyes, guys, I'm just going to give you this nice benefit. Special promotion code with the Q&A benefit you can give to your senior account manager and receive a wonderful one-on-one premium market review. We still have another roughly 7 minutes to go before we say goodbye, so you guys could take advantage and ask me a question if you want. Otherwise, I'm giving you here the Q&A benefit, and I'm just going to explain here on a nutshell about fundamental analysis, just to play with it for the future for the future announcements, right? So we had the, actually, let's go with the interest rate decision. Okay, let's just bring it up here. Previous was 5.5. Forecast was actually 5.5, and guess what happened yesterday? 5.5. Now, this is US rate, right? This is US rate. From what I understood this morning, Sweden have reduced theirs. Okay. Now, how does that has any impact on the dollar? The interest rate decision. Can anybody tell me how an interest rate decision can have impact on a currency in general, right? Let's understand. The first thing that has the interest rate has an impact on is real estate, right? I'm not getting into industrial costs. Of course, that if you go to industrial costs, it ends up in billions, right? But in a shallow version, in a shallow layer, we're looking at loans, right? Mortgages, and the interest rate has an impact for long term. And this is why, if you're looking at it from the people's perspective, for the banks, that's amazing. The higher the interest, the better, the more they make, right, of the loans. But when you think about the bigger picture from a larger scope, you actually understand that banks that are enjoying interest rate from the takers are making money from the differences. Okay, if my mortgage would have been, I don't know, let's say mortgage of £500,000, right, is an example. I don't want to get into calculations now and start confusing you guys, but I'm just going to tell you that over the period of years that I'm paying, the higher the interest rate, the higher my payment will be, not necessarily because of the base amount, just because the interest has increased. Okay, now that also means from the other side that the more it will increase, the more people will be scared to take mortgages, because people understand it's not really worth it. You can end up paying a mortgage almost as high as your the interest rate will be almost as high as your loan, right? Which doesn't make any sense. So people have stopped, and you can see that there is a major decrease in the mortgage takers as comparison to a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago, okay? When the interest rate was still, I think 2 years ago it was already ridiculous, but before that it was reasonable, I think, right? 3 years ago, I think it went when it started with 0.25 or 1.25. I can't recall exactly, right? It was somewhere there. Anyway, the point is the way that this has impact on the economy is that when you increase the interest rate and you increase so-called the income for the banks, you actually increase the payment for the people. And people get scared and they don't take the mortgages. And when people don't take the mortgages, the banks are not making money. They're still making money, always. Banks are always making money. Sorry, I'll never say that again. But they are making less, considerably less, right? If we're looking at 50% less mortgage takers in comparison to last year, you understand that the currency has an impact, that the interest rate has an impact on the currency, right? That's for sure. Now, the way that this works, when it stays the same, there is uncertainty about the currency. And you cannot know, okay, the economy is doing well or not, right? And when there is uncertainty, we see things like gold going this way, right? I hope it makes sense. Yeah, this is pretty much everything for today. I don't think we have any more time to discuss any further about the interest rate decisions. But if it would have been, just before we say goodbye, if it would have been, let's say, this way, okay, and God forbid they would have increased it again, I can just tell you from my personal point of view, I think gold could have maybe respond differently, okay, in a different way, maybe in a more aggressive way, up or down. I'm not going to reveal that. And if it would have been this way, okay, we would expect it to do something a little different. Because it was this way and it stays the same, and there is still uncertainty about the economy, then we can assume that gold still has the potential to keep on climbing, right? We don't know exactly till what price or if it will keep going up or not, but as long as the interest rate decision hasn't changed, so we are looking at pretty much stabilization. Okay. All right, guys, so this is enough for today. I think we pretty much concluded everything we wanted, and as an addition, we played here with the report. Okay, I think it was this way, right? I don't remember exactly. Never mind, the team will fix it up. All right, guys, so it's been a pleasure. I wish you all best of luck with trading. Have a fruitful week, and that's it. Have a good day.